sorry. Look guys, I knew I said I was going to do this review way back when The Hitman's Bodyguard came out, but quite frankly, Samuel L. Jackson's done a lot of movies. I couldn't think of any, and I just have, so don't judge me, let's go. Yes guys, hello, welcome to another one of my top 5s. This time it's on one of my other favourite actors of all time. Last time it was Ryan Reynolds. This time it's Samuel L. Jackson. So let's do this with number 5, which is... Every great movie, people say, is only ever as good as its villain. Now, this is quite a recent one of Samuel L. Jackson's movies, but I think personally, without Richmond Valentine in Kingsman: The Secret Service, I don't think this movie would have done half as good as it did. I am a huge fan of Kingsman: The Secret Service, as I have said before in my previous review for The Golden Circle, and I really think that the introduction of Samuel L. Jackson as Valentine in this movie is amazing. He even used a list that he apparently naturally had before he went into acting. Fun fact for you there. Yes, in this movie his plan is over the top, evil and stupid. It's based on smartphones because, let's be honest, it was 2014. Smartphones are big, they're big now, of course. So why not make a villain use them to, for some reason, make people beat each other up? But however ludicrous that may have been, Samuel L. Jackson pulled it off, and it is number 5 on my list, not maybe because it's one of his best performances, but for me, hands down, one of his most fun. Okay, the next one maybe isn't as fun, but is also one of my favourites. So, number 4 is... Okay, it was hard to choose which performance of Nick Fury I preferred from Samuel L. Jackson, but I had to go with Captain America: The Winter Soldier, because I think he has such a deep story arc in this movie. He has to fake his own death, he's chased by everyone at S.H.I.E.L.D., he is deemed someone that is now going to be killed, he is no longer needed for S.H.I.E.L.D., he has been screwed over by everyone that he used to work for. I can really compare this to what I said about Ryan Reynolds when he was Deadpool. What I said about that was he's now so well known for that character, he is now Deadpool. Now obviously Samuel L. Jackson took over from David Hasselhoff. Oh, you sexy bastard! And yes, that is not the biggest performance he's ever had to take over from, but Nick Fury is now his own character. You look at Sam Jackson, he is Nick Fury. I think he is mostly Nick Fury, if you get my meaning, in The Winter Soldier. It delves into him so deeply, and I really, really love how deep they get into it. And you can tell that Samuel L. Jackson really enjoyed grabbing onto the meat of the character he's now been playing for a very, very long time. Let's move swiftly on, guys, with my number 3, which is... This movie is an extremely slow burner. Yes, it's either one that I think most people from Quentin Tarantino's movies they either love or they hate, because not a lot happens. It is a lot of claustrophobic talking in a cabin during the middle of winter in a huge blizzard. But I think that Major Marcus Warren, obviously Sam Jackson, is the best standout character in that entire movie. He has to act against people like Tim Roth. He has to act against a humongously amazing performance by Kurt Russell in this movie. Yeah, I honestly think he overshadows absolutely everyone. I can watch this movie maybe once a year because it is so long, it is so drawn out, but it is also so intense. It's so claustrophobic. It really entices you into this story that you would find boring if you would just describe it to someone, if that sounds right. But honestly, it's because of Samuel L. Jackson that this movie absolutely does what it needs to do. I think that Quentin Tarantino had such trust in him that he could just talk to people and people would be engaged. It is truly amazing, but there is 2 other movies that are better than this. Now bear with me, because people do love The Hateful Eight, but look at my number 2, which is... This movie has been with me for years. It is actually one of the first movies I ever owned. Mwah! Coach Carter is a true story that you may not actually find that enticing or that exciting if you're not a fan of basketball. Not the hugest fan, but honestly, I think this movie is so good that you don't really need to be a fan. If you've not seen the movie, let me tie you in here. Sam Jackson plays Coach Ken Carter, who in real life would not let his basketball team play the Richmond Oilers if they didn't have a certain grade point average. He made them write contracts out, he made them study and made sure they studied. Otherwise, he just shut it down, and in real life he did. He shut the gyms down. He would not let them play until they got their education. I love this movie because it made me care about a bunch of guys that really you didn't know about. It wasn't well publicised over here in the UK. It makes you not really care. Why would you care? It was a small team in America that played basketball. But honestly, even if you're not a basketball fan, please watch this movie because it is genuinely an incredible film. Just the drive this man had to give these kids a future away from just a sport. He cared about these kids. His own son ends up joining the team and he cared enough. He made him work twice as hard. If you're with me, you work. You make your grades up, you do this, but you can play basketball. You boys do well in both. And it tells you at the end how they all got on. They all had great lives afterwards because of this wonderful man. This movie is a total winner for me, and fact number 2 in this video. Damn, I'm rolling out the facts today. This is also the feature film debut of Mr. Channing Tatum. Let's go to number 1, shall we? Which is... Do I need to say this famous quote for you guys to realise how good this performance is? I did say earlier that no one else could play Nick Fury like Samuel L. Jackson, but who else could play Jules Winfield? Tell me. I'll sit here. You tell me. I'll wait. No, good. Cut the check. Let's go to the next scene. Pulp Fiction is a movie that will live on in total infamy, whether it be the $5 milkshake, the random cameo from Steve Buscemi, whether it be putting an adrenaline needle in Uma Thurman. This movie will be Tarantino's finest piece of work, and that is, I think, 90% down to Samuel L. Jackson. There's not much that I need to say that hasn't already been said about Pulp Fiction. It's a movie that, yes, is done in the same style that a lot of Tarantino's movies are done. It is a movie that I think will go on and stand the test of time, whether it be its soundtrack. It launched the career of a lot of people. This movie will never go away. And if you don't like it, I'm going to sit here right now and I'm going to judge you a little bit. Because if you haven't at least seen Pulp Fiction, yes, you can have your own opinion, but genuinely believe if you haven't even seen it, oh dear me. So there you have it, guys. That is my top 5 Samuel L. Jackson movies. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Please let me know. Of course, I would love to know. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I love doing these top 5s, and there will be plenty more on my channel for many moons to come. So please keep watching them so I can keep making them. Don't forget in the meantime to like, share, subscribe. Y'all know the drill, and I will see you all in the next video.